Okay, so good evening everyone. My name is Ronak Vete and I am a B CSE AI ML student. I've been studying AI agents, large language model for the past 2 years now I would like to share my knowledge with you, my fellow students, so you can uh, join my journey on this course. So in this today's session, what we'll be learning is what are large language models, how we can access those language models using their SDKs. Then we will explore the SDKs like OpenAI, LangChain, Anthropic, Gemini, etc. Now I will also give you how to access free API keys from Google Gemini and OpenRouter. And for this course, we will use the Gemini model for our projects because Gemini provides a free tier, Gemini Flash models. We'll also explore what are structured outputs and how to get the structured outputs. We'll also explore what is function calling, how to enable tools, because normally a basic large language model doesn't have enough context of what is going on in our environment. So it needs proper functions to understand the context. We'll also explore how to provide image inputs to the model. Then we'll understand what's the difference between the vanilla OpenAI client developed by OpenAI. Did you start recording? OpenAI client and LangChain. LangChain is an adapter for the models, and we'll also understand different model parameters that we can use to guide the output. So I have I had shared a guide where you had to download some software. So how many of you have downloaded at least WSL? Because for today's session, we'll only need WSL and VS Code. So how many of you have VSL, WSL and VS Code? So now put down your hand. If anyone has not installed WSL, is there anyone here who doesn't have WSL installed on their system? So I will basically show now a small guide on how to install WSL. So Ayush, can you start screen sharing? I will show now how to install WSL. It's very simple. Ayush, Ayush, why are you not screen sharing? Share the screen.
Wait a minute.
Okay, there has been a network issue, so please wait. Okay, so now Ayush, open the terminal. Can you open the terminal? Now on the terminal,
Is
you
it
just have to type WSL space dash dash install and enter. It will automatically download the WSL, ask for a few permissions, you have to just OK them. So as this continues in the background, I will give you a brief start the session. So my screen is visible, right? So anybody has an idea on what large language model is? You can unmute yourself and answer. Any idea about what are large language models? You can unmute and say or
Large language models are the models which are AI models which are trained on large data set. Examples are ChatGPT and Gemini. They can generate text, images, and also videos.
okay, so you have a brief knowledge of what a large language model. So does anybody know how the large language models generate the text? Like how they generate the next token? Anybody have an idea? Okay. So a large language model is a deep learning model trained on a massive text data set. It is trained on text data and it can predict the next tokens. So how does it actually predict the tokens? So when you give an input to the decoding layer of the transformer, it uses an layer called as multi-headed attention. The multi-head attention gives the attention score to each tokens, like which token is going to be more important, and so then it goes to a feed forward network, and in feed forward network it takes the input from the multi-headed attention and outputs it onto the total number of tokens that are available in the language. Like for the GPT-2 model that was trained, it had 58 around 58,000 tokens. So it used to, from feed forward layer, it used to take the input and output into different 58,000 such neurons. So and on that final layer we apply the softmax and apply classification. So basically it generates the probabilities of uh, highest probability of the next token possible in the given sequence. So we don't need to go into detail of how it works, but just we need to understand that it uses probability to calculate the next token based on the given context. So for a large language model to work properly, a proper context is very necessary. Do you understand this? Any doubts you have? Don't understand about, you can say, based on probability. So Sameer has a doubt because in a In the feed-forward neural network, what it takes is the um, attention scores of the tokens that are input tokens, and based on those attention scores, it generates the probability or the logits. Uh, it's in deep learning where you uh, take an input from for the classification task. It generates the logits. So logits are nothing but numerical values, and from logits we convert it into probability values using the softmax function. So softmax function what it does is takes input which has a range from minus infinity to positive infinity and converts it into 0 to 1. That is the probability range. So based on that range, we calculate which token has the highest probability, and then select that token. So do you understand now? Or so in this course we are not interested in like the details of nitty-gritty details of a large language model. I am only sharing this because you need to have some basic idea about what are language models and how do they produce output, so that we can give proper context to it. So you have to understand that we are not interested in the high level, low level complete training details in the large language model. So shall I proceed further? You can unmute yourself and speak if you need. Okay. Now we understood what are language models. So how do we actually access these language models? Uh, so the language models hosted by OpenAI or Google or Anthropic or any other cloud provider, or even if you host on your local machine, how can we access them? In order to access these LLMs, there are SDKs or clients. The OpenAI provides the official OpenAI SDK to connect to its models like GPT-4 or GPT-5. As OpenAI was the first company to provide large language model, its API standard is followed by most service providers except for like Anthropic and Gemini. They use a different API standard. For the most of the providers like your local LLMs or VLLM or Open Router, they provide they can be connected using OpenAI SDK. The LLM is exposed by the this API, Chat Completions API. It is known as the Chat Completions API. The OpenAI API is a paid service, so we'll not be using this in our session. If anyone has paid for OpenAI, has its credits, they can certainly use it, but we will not be using this in this session. Uh, Instead, we will be going for free services like Open Router or Gemini. Gemini also exposes its models via an OpenAI compatibility layer. So as we will be using the OpenAI client, we'll use Gemini via their OpenAI compatibility layer. So it will make us easier in the future if we use another model from a local host or Open Router. We don't need to change the entire code because a Gemini SDK's API is somewhat different than OpenAI. Now, what is LangChain? LangChain is not like an LLM client, but instead it's an abstraction layer that takes out all the low level processing it does and gives you nice clean API that you can use for development. Also, LangChain has a uh, good feature that developers can use is that if you create any application, then you don't need to change it if you want to change the model later, like from uh, OpenAI to Gemini or through Anthropic. You don't need to change the entire code. You only need to change one line, which is defining the language model. So yeah, don't need, that's an advantage for LangChain. So in this session, first we will be using OpenAI to make a basic requests, structured output, function calling. Then we'll also be using LangChain. But in this, for creating agents, we will be using an library that is provided by LangChain known as LangGraph. So LangGraph is like the most commonly used library for creating AI agents. It gives you a fine detail control. So we will be using that. But in this session, we'll only be using OpenAI and LangChain. So now, Ayush, what's the installation done for WSL? Is the installation finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you now share your screen and
Sir, it's already shared.
okay. So you will get this kind of message that your operation was successful. Now you just need to reboot your system and start the Ubuntu. So you can start that. After you restart it, it will ask for setting up the Ubuntu WSL, which will just take a username and a password. You just need to set that and you will be done.
Sir, should I reboot one stream?
Yes, you can reboot them. So is everyone clear about the LLM client SDKs? Okay, so now we will enter into the actual coding. We will use the OpenAI client to generate some basic completions. But before going there, I will show you how you can access free APIs. So first you have to go to Google and search Google AI Studio. If you don't understand anything in this process, you can unmute yourself and ask me. Don't be hesitant. So open the first link, the Google AI Studio. In this, you have to go to this get API key link. Then you have to click create API key. So if you don't have a project setup, it will be automatically asked for create a new project. I already have it, so create API key in existing project. It will then give you an API key, which you have to copy and save because it will be important for later accessing the models. So you have to copy it. Is everyone following the steps?
Sir, I have rebooted my system. Should I share the screen?
I will show you the process again if you need. First delete my API key. First, you have to go to Google AI Studio. Then click on the first link, that aistudio.google.com. Then click on Get API Key. Then click Create API Key. Then if you already have a Google Cloud project set up, you can click on that, or it will prompt you to create a new project. Then you have to copy the generated API key. Once everyone followed the steps, you understand the process. If you have got an API key, just raise your hand or enter yes or done, anything. If you are facing any problem, you can unmute yourself and ask me. So is there anyone who still hasn't got the API key? Raise your hand if you don't still have the API key, so that I can move forward. Okay, Ayush, I'll wait for some time. Did you get the key, Ayush? Can I proceed?
Sir, can you show me once?
Okay. So first go to Google AI Studio. Then click on the first link, the official Google AI Studio. Then here click on Get API Key. Then click on Create API Key. Then here, if you don't have the project, it will ask you to create a new project. I already have it, so I'm just going to create. So if you here click API key, it will create an API key and show you the API key. So you have to copy that API key. I will not be doing it again. Did you get the key?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now all of you have to open your WSL Ubuntu session. So please open Ubuntu. And in Ubuntu, we have to download UV. UV. So type on UV Astral. So click on installation. So here we have the link on how to download UV. So you just have to copy this command, and then in your Ubuntu machine, you just have to paste this link and enter. I already have installed, so I will not be installing it again. So you just have to follow this process for installing UV. So what is UV? UV is nothing but a CLI tool that makes management of Python environments a lot easier. It manages Python virtual environments, modules. It makes life a lot easier in Python development. So we'll be using UV, and it's cross compatible. So if anyone has any doubts in installation of UV, you can unmute yourself and speak. Once you are finished downloading, you can raise your hand or enter yes. Has everyone finished installing? Give me a hint. Enter done or raise your hands, please. So are you enjoying this session? Like, do you like it, this format? So anyone is still remaining for installing UV? So anyone still hasn't installed? Raise your hands if you don't have UV installed. If you have installed it, you can check if it's works successfully by entering UV dash dash version. It should give you the version. If it gives an error, you need to reinstall it again. It means it hasn't installed properly. So can I proceed forward? please respond. If otherwise, I won't know if to go forward or not. Okay. Is there anyone still remaining for installing UV? I guess everyone has installed UV, so we will move forward. Okay, so now we have to make project. We'll create a simple directory, mkdir projects. Then we'll cd into this directory. And we'll create a Python directory because we'll be using Python. This is not necessary, but it just makes management a lot easier. Now we'll create a Python environment for this session. So enter uv init, the name of the folder that you want, AI agents. You can give any name. Then you can specify the Python version to use. --python 3.12. So it will initialize a project. Then once you're in this AI agents directory or your project directory that you have created, you type uv sync. It will download the Python version if you don't have Python 3.12, and it will set up the virtual environment. So it's everyone clear till this step? I'm showing you the commands. So you just have to enter these commands line by line. If everyone is done, we can proceed forward. Just unmute yourself and say I am done, because I can't go back and forth to see messages or if you have raised your hand. Is everyone done?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I guess now we can move forward. So for accessing OpenAI, we'll be needing the OpenAI package. So how to install Python modules using UV? You just enter UV, add, then the name of the pip module, that is OpenAI. We also need Python .env, because in proper production environments, we don't directly hard code the API key in our code. We set them up as a environment variables. So Python.env helps to enter these env variables in a file so that we can easily manage it. So now enter. It will download those files. Right. Is everyone done till this step? Now what you have to do is open VS Code. And in VS Code, if you see at the bottom left corner, that is open remotes window, so click on there. Here you will see a WSL option if you are on Windows. I'm currently on Linux, so I don't have the WSL option. So here you just have to click on your WSL option. It will open VS Code for their WSL. Here you will see WSL. For me it shows SSH. So I am using an Ubuntu machine using SSH. For you it will show WSL. Have Is everyone clear? So by now you should have connected your WSL machine. Okay, so commands. Yeah. These are the commands. Sujal asked for the commands, so you can see these commands. So if anyone is left behind, you can um, ask me. Can unmute yourself and ask. I haven't completed this step. Can you show me again? Because this is an interactive session and we'll be learning hands-on. So I want everyone to be on the same steps. You, Sujal, you can't install Python. So what's happening, Sujal? Why can't you? It's UV not working. UV चालत नाही काय? काय प्रॉब्लेम काय आहे? What?
नाही नाही झालं डन आहे
Okay.
पायथॉन इन्स्टॉल झालं
Installing Ubuntu.
So this is the reason we are using UV because for some special clients there is a version limit like 3.10 or 3.12, 3.11, and if we want to like for every library, if you like to change the system Python, it will take a lot of time and waste a lot of resources and be messy. So instead of that, we are using UV. It manages environments a lot easier. So I guess everyone that's connected to WSL via VS Code. Is anyone still remaining? You can raise your hand if you have not done that step or unmute yourself and speak so that I can understand. Okay, I guess everyone has come till this step connected to WSL via VS Code. So here we have to click on open folder, then select the project folder that you created, which is in projects. For me, it is in projects Python and AI agents and click OK. So it will open in this directory. Why is this important? Because it will automatically detect your Python version, otherwise it won't work.
Hello.
Okay, what
Hello, Zara.
what's the
Sorry
problem?
to interrupt, but I am not. I think why we use the Ubuntu instead of Windows.
For this session, I guess it doesn't matter if you do it on Windows, but for
Okay.
AI agents, we'll be doing some creating custom functions to access the terminal and the system. So why I guess Windows doesn't have the proper permissions to use, and for terminal commands, PowerShell is a bit difficult, and the AI agents, the most LLMs still don't do properly on PowerShell, whereas Bash commands, all of the LLMs can easily interpret Bash commands. So that's why we are using Ubuntu.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
For this session, I guess you can use Windows. It won't be a problem. Like many of the sessions, I guess you can do on Windows. Only a few, which we'll be doing for like function calling, specific AI agents. Only there you need Linux. And also on Linux, you can easily install the packages using a single command. For Windows, you have to go on the internet, download the installer, then install. For Linux, it's just a single one-line command. It makes development a lot easier. That's why we are using Ubuntu or any other Linux for that matter. So you will see this window, and in the bottom right corner, you will see 3.12.3 AI agent. So it should detect your virtual environment. Before moving forward, we'll just check if everything is working. UV run main.py. So yeah, our environment is all set up. Anyone hasn't activated the environment? Everything is working on all your machines, right? Till now. Now we'll create a folder. Session 1, you can name anything. And this folder will create a file .env. Here we'll define the API key. So it is the Gemini API key equal to the previously generated API key from Gemini. We'll just paste it here. Then we'll try to connect with this Gemini model. Read a new file. Chat LLM.py. You can name your files anything, it's not important. Also in env you can enter the model name. It's not necessary or compulsory, but defining global variables in a separate separate file makes it easier. We'll be using for this session Gemini 2.5 slash light model. So if you are wondering from where did I get this name, you can check the Gemini models repository. For that, you have to go to Google AI Studio. Here there is API Quick Start Guide. Just click on it. it will show you the docs. So the Gemini, the Google models are basically hosted from the Gemini SDK, but in this session, we'll be accessing it through the OpenAI client. So for that, the Google has created a OpenAI compatibility layer. So, and if anyone has any problems or doubts, you can ask me or directly go on these docs. I guess these docs have almost all of your answers. You just need to understand how to search in these docs. And for models purposes, here under the models section, Gemini, so it gives a list of the models. The Gemini 2.5 Pro, Gemini 2.5 Flash, 2.5 Flash Lite. So Gemini 2.5 Flash and 2.5 Flash Lite are like they have a lot of high limits, so you won't easily consume your tokens. Whereas on Gemini 2.5 Pro, it is in a Pro model, so it has a limited token. So only use this Gemini 2.5 Pro if your task is not completed via this Flash model. If these Flash models aren't responding as you like, then go for Pro model. As it is a Pro model, it has better understanding, better responses. But for general use cases, a Flash or Flashlight will be more than enough. Then we will be importing the OpenAI client from OpenAI. Import chat OpenAI. From OpenAI, import OpenAI. Then we'll import the loading the env files from .env. Import load.env. Also, we'll be importing the OS module for accessing these environment variables. Now we'll load these environment variables. Now we'll set up our client. OpenAI. Here we'll enter the API key and access the API key from the environment variable. Get env Gemini API key. Make sure you enter the exact name that you entered here, otherwise it will not fetch the correct value. Also, we'll set the base URL, which is provided in the docs. Just have to copy it and paste it in. For model, we'll also use the same get env. And if it somehow fails to fetch that model, we'll set a default value here, Gemini 2.5 Flash. So now how to prompt the LLM? It's simple. Response equals to LLM. The client dot. Do you remember the API that I talked about, the chat completions API? So we'll use that here. Chat dot completions dot create. In this, you have the two important parameters, that is the model name, model, and messages. The messages is the prompt that you give to the model. We'll create a message variable. For now to test how Is our model working? I will just do a simple prompt. Hi. And we'll print what the response we get. You can run this cd into the sessions directory. Do we run chat llm.py. So, oh no, we got an error. So what did we do wrong here, guys? Can anyone tell me what error or problem do you see here? Can anyone find out the error? Can unmute and speak.
Quotations are remain. Quotes.
Where?
Thing.
So this is one of the common problems when using LLMs, because LLMs require a particular format of prompt. You can't just put hi, hello, or whatever you. They require proper format. In create, you can see the messages, what it expects. It expects an iterable. That means it expects a list. We are just passing a string here. So it won't work. We have to pass a proper list. Now, how will the model know that it's a message from the human or the system prompt or a message that was created by the AI only? So for that, there is something known as role. So role. For humans, the role value is user. For defining the system prompts, it is system. For AI response, the role is AI. Assistant, sorry. For the AI response, the role is assistant. So then you have to define the content. So in content, you can write the prompt. So I'll put here hi. Okay, now let's see if it works. And yes, we get the response. So this is a complete object that is returned by the Gemini model. We are not interested in the entire object. We just need the message. So the message is situated at response dot choices. You can see here choice. The first you have to find the message. So the message is located in the choices object. So choices. Then it is the choices is a list. So and it is a only one response, so you can get the first response by 0. Then there is the message object, so message. Then inside the message the content is situated at the content value, content key. So content, save it and run again. Now we get the exact response. So has everyone followed till here? Are you getting the response correctly? If you are facing any problems or doubts, you can ask me. Yes, Samit, you answered right, pass the messages in a list. Instead of giving typing messages, you can unmute and speak, because while typing I am not able to see the message. So if you can unmute and speak, it will be a lot better. So is everyone getting this response?
Please show that .env file once.
Okay. So here in .env, you have to define the API key and the model. Please don't copy my API key. Generate your own API key, please. Now, if you look closely in the responses object, the chat completion object, you will see it provides us a lot of information. It gives us an ID. It gives us the choices, which contains our actual message. It also provides us the usage metadata. It gives us the completion tokens. How many tokens did it generated? So these are like 11 tokens. And prompt tokens. Hi. A message, it was hi. 3 tokens. So what model did we use? Gemini. So here it provides us a lot of information. You can see this. Is everyone done till this step? Are you getting responses from the API, Gemini? If you are done, please raise your hands or type done. Okay, Samit here is done. What about others? Have you finished? If you are facing any problems, please unmute yourself and speak. This is a interactive session, not just one person speaking and others listening. Shall I proceed further?
Yes, done.
Okay. Okay, so we have uh, seen how OpenAI client can be used for a simple response, but this is not what you do in a proper model. So for a proper response, you need to give the language model a role, right? We are not giving the system prompt. The system prompt is what guides the model on what its task is, what it should do. So we will now define our system prompt role. system. So what we can give a system prompt? Do you have any idea what system prompt to give? Any ideas for system prompt? Okay. So uh, a normal language model just responds in what the data it was trained. So this was trained on general text, so it responds generally. But using system prompt, we can correctly guide it. So now I want this language model to work as a Linux terminal. So I will give a system message to uh, tell it to act as a Linux terminal. Terminal running bash shell. Whatever command prompt I give, interpret it as a bash command and only respond with the expected output of the command. And we only want the output, we don't want an explanation, so we can don't include any explanations or additional text. Then the main prompt. So I will be giving user content. So I will give it a basic command, cat/etc. So this command is used on Linux systems to check what operating version of operating system they are using. You can check on your systems like cat/c relates. So here you can see the system is Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. So this is the basic command in all Linux systems. So I've given this command for a large language model. Let's see what it provides us in the response. Save it and let's run it. See, it gave us an output. It told us that it's a Debian Linux system, Debian 12 specifically. So yeah, this is how you use language models. Like using the system prompts, you define what its role is, what persona it is, and then give the commands. So you will see here that it didn't provide any unnecessary explanations or unnecessary output. It just gave us the command. So isn't this cool? You can use LLM, give it the LLM a personality and ask it to do anything. Isn't this cool? If you are trying this same prompt, um, zoom in so you can see. You're doing the same prompt. Has everyone tried this system prompt? If you're done, please respond.
Yes, done.
So did you like this? What system prompt does, how it works, how it gives guides the LLM.
Yes, yes.
So this is just one of the basic things. You can give more, you can get creative and give it any prompt. I guess we can now move further. Is anyone facing any problem?
Sorry,
If anyone has an idea, you can speak so that we can try it here now. Some different idea. We'll see a different command to check if it's really working or not. ls slash. So what this slash represents, this is the root directory. So this should give us directories like root, home, mnt, this folder. So we'll check now if it actually does that. Save it. So yeah, see, it gave bin, boot, home, mnt. So these are the standard um, directories in the Linux root system, file system. So yeah, it's working fine.
Can we go with a command like lsblk or df-h?
Let's try it. Shit, shit. Hotspot दिल देना. Yeah, तो वाईफाई hotspot सोडला आहे. Okay. 5G येते. हा, 5G hotspot सोडला आहे. हो. Is everyone here? Now we'll wait for
Yes.
we'll wait for some time for the participants who disconnected or left because of like electricity. So wait for as you can see the output for the LLM LSBLP. You can make it more better by including context. So in this system prompt, you can say it just has a single drive named /nvme, and then here it will only give that out. So for language models, the most important thing for responses is the context. Without context, a language model won't work properly. In the future, if you are doing any projects on LLMs or AI, if you are not getting the expected output, the response, the first step to try is giving it a proper context. Try changing the system prompt, the human prompt. Try changing those. Try playing around with those prompts. Give it proper context. And still, if it doesn't work, use advanced models like Pro model or the GPT-5 models or Anthropic's Claude models. Use them. They are costlier, but they are better at understanding. So this is like the last step for changing higher grade models. First, you always have to try modifying the system prompt. So we have completed the OpenAI client basic usage. Now we'll see what difference does LangChain make. As I said, LangChain is nothing but an adapter to all these LLM providers. It just abstracts the functions and makes it a lot easier for us to understand. So we'll first install the LangChain module uv add LangChain, and we'll be using the OpenAI client for that. LangChain OpenAI, it's an adapter over OpenAI. So please install this LangChain and LangChain OpenAI modules. I will wait for a few minutes till we have completed this. After you have finished installing these LangChain and LangChain OpenAI models, please message done in the chat. Right, now light is back, so I'll connect to Wi-Fi. Wait a few minutes. Change my Wi-Fi connection. So am I audible now? And everyone, it's my screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
So you have to now install the LangChain module, LangChain and LangChain OpenAI, as we will be using the OpenAI client, also LangChain OpenAI. So please install these. Okay, I guess everyone has installed LangChain. So now I will show you how to use the LangChain API. Create a new file. Here we also have to import the .env because we'll be using the same API key. Then for importing the LangChain module from LangChain OpenAI, import chat OpenAI. Now we'll set up the LLM. First load the LLM, chat OpenAI, define the model, the API key, and the base URL. So in here, the for setting the API key, it will give a warning because it expects it to be an environment variable called OpenAI API key. But we are using the Gemini API key, so that's why we are hard coding it here. So it will work, it just throws a warning. Then we'll define our messages. Now you saw that in our previous implementation, we had to define role, content, again it's role, user, system. LangChain abstracts that in its own message object. You have to import them from LangChain core dot messages import system message. System message defines the system message, system prompt, human message, our user prompt. Then define the system prompt into system message. We'll be using the same prompts because we'll see how it responds. Human message LSBLB. You can check the arguments here, the base URL API key, which shows any error like this. Response. Messages. Here it directly exposes us the content key. We don't have to do choices, messages, content. You can directly put dot content and it will access that. So now we'll run this. We run. You can see it give us the same response, not exactly same, but what is expected from LSBLB. So when you are doing this, getting responses from LLM, you will see that the responses are not always consistent. They're not always the same. Sometimes the response is different, but the general idea is the same. I will also tell you how you can limit those responses. That is always for a particular prompt, how to get the same response every time. For that, you have to tune some of the model parameters. We'll see those also. Has everyone been done with LangChain implementation? You can see the code here. Type done in the messages if you're done with the LangChain. So what did you find easy? Defining those system message, human message, or defining this JSON objects like role, system. What did you find easy? What was more easy to and what is more clean to see? So can you please answer what's the difference between these two? What did you like about one implementation and which one would you prefer for development? Okay, please respond. If you aren't able to speak on the mic, you can also type message in the chat. Anything will do. Okay. As Darshan said, using LangChain it's easy. Like I said, LangChain abstracts all of this. In LangChain, you can also pass this as this directly. It will format it. So in LangChain, you can define it as system message, human message, or you can pass role content. Anything will work. Now you might have had a question. Like LangChain is an abstraction layer, whereas the OpenAI it's the um, official SDK from OpenAI. So why should we use LangChain? Isn't like OpenAI the better? It will have better response time, use fewer tokens. Like, did you have this question? You, do you feel like using LangChain would be slower as it is an abstraction layer? After all, it's just an abstraction layer. So it has an overhead as compared to OpenAI. So do you feel like LangChain should be a lot slower than OpenAI? Okay. Darshan feels no. Anybody else? What do others feel? What should be faster, LangChain or Samir is right? It's it doesn't make a lot of difference. For this specific question, I had written a test and compared the response time. Yes, here I did a 5 runs. You can see for LangChain and OpenAI, I did use the Gemini model. You can see the response time for LangChain is 3.5 seconds, for OpenAI is 3.8 seconds. LangChain for next run 4.5, OpenAI 4.6, next 2.9, 3.9, 3.4, 3.7, 3.8, 3.7. So you can say it's LangChain is not uh, slower than OpenAI. It sometimes is faster because LangChain has its own optimizations done by the development team. So in order to reduce those response time, it does some magic. It had some magic behind its working. For this, the input tokens were 585. It was not like a simple hi, hello question. It was a proper prompt with a given tools. So it should represent a real world scenario, not just a experiment. You can see LangChain, it's not much slower. So we'll be using LangChain for our development. We got the free API feeds. We used Gemini model to generate completions. Now, what is structured outputs? In structured outputs, what you do is you guide the LLM or give a format so that it can generate the output. You can see here it gave the output in just like text. it doesn't have a proper format. Here you can. So what structured output does it? You first have to define proper fields, and it will populate those fields. It won't give any unnecessary output. Like for example, if you told it to if you ask the question, what is the capital of India? In a general model will output like the capital of India is Delhi. But if you want only the capital, say Delhi, then you would use the structured output. In structured output, you will only get the required output. We'll see this shortly. So for further work, we'll be using LangChain. If you like to see how to do it in OpenAI, I have included in this doc, in this basic guide, how to do it in both, like OpenAI official client and LangChain one. So you can refer to this if you want to do it in OpenAI, or you can directly go on their docs, official OpenAI docs. They have a great examples there. But for now, we will use LangChain. Structure. We'll copy this as this will be the same for all. Now I'm not going to give it like system prompt to only give the exact answer. Don't include any explanations or all. I'm just going to say you are an helpful assistant. Or let's forget it. We don't even need a system message for the simple tasks we'll be doing. We'll just use human message. What is the capital of India? We'll try running it and see what output we get. So like I said, it gives the capital of India is New Delhi. So if we only want New Delhi, there are two options. We can either write our own parser that can takes the output and parses the exact content that we want, or we can directly use structured output. So first you have to define the response format. For that we'll be using Pydantic. Now we'll define the response format. Here you can just be done with this, or if you have a advanced or a complicated response output where the model won't doesn't exactly understand what it should provide, then you have to provide a brief description. Here you can say it represents capital, so the model understands that it needs to provide capital here. But I will show you how to provide a description also. For that, from Pydanting you have to import field. Then in the description, you give the description of it, the capital of the asked country. So now it will know exactly what this field is. Now you have to add the structured output. So in LangChain, you will do with structured output. Then you have to pass in the response model. Then invoke just like before. Now, before we used to do dot content, but here the response, it's actually the same as response model. So it will be a pydantic model. So we don't need to do like dot content. Now, if we see what output it provides, see, you can see that it directly gives us the capital that we ask. It doesn't give us any more nonsense or explanations like that. Now, a general rule of thumb is the response that you get, you have to first verify it, because sometimes the model may not give the exact output. Response equals to, for that there is a factory method in pydantic, that is response model. Dot model validate, and we have to pass in the response. Now we can be 100% sure that the response that we get is this response model. Now we'll see that we will directly get New Delhi. Did you follow this? Did you understand what are structured outputs? Did you get the same response as I did? Have you finished with the structured outputs? If anyone wants to know how to do it in the OpenAI official client, it's not too difficult. In the For the basic text generation, we use client.chat.completions.create. Instead, for structured output, you have to do parse, and you have to provide a response format and a pydantic out response. So it's very easy also in OpenAI client. Now you can see this is like a basic example. It's not too difficult. Now we'll see how it generates a to-do list. So now we are going to generate a to-do list, and for that we are giving a simple task, that is to create a simple login page. Now we'll define our to-do list. So each completed is it pretty much tells the model what it is. So we don't need to provide a description for it. So the most important thing to remember while generating the response format is that you have to always give the proper types for the fields. Like the name should be string, each completed should be a boolean value. To-dos. To-dos is a list of the to-do items. So we have to statically define these data types. This is the most important thing. Without defining the this data types, it won't generate the output correctly, or it will fail. So static typings are must here. And for the names of the, you can provide any name. This is for just for convenience. I have chosen response model. You can either choose to-do list or anything. I've added a rich library. A rich library provides a colored outputs. It just looks good, so I'm using rich print. Not important, but it looks good. So see, it provided us the to-dos. Now, where is this structured output useful? Suppose you are creating an application for to-dos, AI generated AI to-do application. So for this purpose, you can directly take this to-do item lists and directly parse it. You don't need much parsing or formatting. It directly gives you the field. So this is important in generating, building AI applications or future agents. So we'll be using structured outputs for that. So everybody clear about structured outputs? You can see the code here if you are not completed. So everybody experienced the structured output. Did you get a to-do list? Type done if you are finished doing structured outputs. If you are getting any errors, you can ask me. Is everybody done? Hello, is everyone done? Just type done in the chat. Or if you are facing any problem, you can ask me. Okay, so what do you think of structured outputs? Did you feel like it's amazing? Isn't it better than just getting plain response? But plain responses aren't useful in real world applications. Before the addition of the structured output parameter, what developers used to do was they used to define the response format in the system prompt. There they used to define the JSON schema for the output. So what it did was increase the input tokens. Also, the model sometimes wasn't uh, accurate in giving the answers. With the addition of this structured output parameter, uh, the outputs have been very consistent. So I guess that's it for today, guys. I was planning on also doing function calling, but a lot of time has been passed. Also, before going, I would like to give a bonus information. I said that I'll be giving two API keys. First was the Gemini and from the Open Router. Gemini is for our daily development tasks, but on Open Router you can access powerful models for free for a limited period of time or for a limited responses. So we have to go on openrouter.ai website. Is everyone following me? Go to openrouter.ai. We type in it again. Openrouter.ai website. There you can go into the models section. Here on the left side, you will see prompt pricing. So here you have to go it for free. Prompt pricing should be free. So now you will see different models. These models are all free tier models. They have a limit, but for a basic tasks for experimenting or testing new models, this is easy. Like if you want to use some NVIDIA Nemotron model or the OpenAI GPT OSS or DeepSeek or GLM Quen 3, you can try it here for first, then you can buy the credits and do the actual work. Now, the free hosted models don't have the full capability as paid models. Like not all these models support function calling, structured output. For that, we have to go for supported parameter. Here we have to select which parameter do we want. Like if you want structured outputs, select structured outputs. Now the models that we get here are all support structured outputs. Now you can select any model. Now I'll be going with Sonoma Dusk Alpha. Any model you can go here. Here you will first you have to create an API key. For that you have to go for the top right section. Here there is a keys. Select on the keys button. Then you have to create a new API key. You can name it anything, session 1. create, then copy your API key. Now I will show you how to use it. It's very simple. Here now we don't have much time, we have to finish it. So I will just hard code it here. Then for model, you will do Sonoma Dusk Alpha. For that, you can go to the API section. Here they will give you a basic guide where it shows the model name. Copy it from here. Ensure it's in quotes. For the base URL also provided here, openrouter.api v1. Now we will check if it actually works. Yes, you can see that our open router model is also working. So yeah, did you get the open router API key? All of you? Did you get it? Just type done if you have the open router API key. Anyone facing problems, you can speak or type in the messages. Do I need to walk through the process again? Please respond if you have got the open router key. Did it work for everyone? Are you getting the response?
Yes.
So when a new model is released, generally the model will be free on open router. Like this Sonoma model was released just a few days ago, so it will be on for free on open router for a few days. Similar GPT-5 was also there. Claude was also there for free on open router for a few days after it was released. So you can check here what new models are there, and you try them before buying their credits. So I guess that's it for today, guys. In the next session on Saturday, we'll be going through function calling, how to process image inputs, and we'll also understand various model parameters. I will be sharing this document after this session, so you can go through it. So yeah, that's for today. That's it for today. So how was the session? How did you feel? What improvements should be done? You can give me your feedback. This is my first time doing a session, so it will be helpful if you give a proper feedback or I can improve. Any feedbacks from anyone? Should I increase my speed or decrease it? Take it slow, take it fast? Okay, if you have any extra doubts. Okay, thank you, Darshan, for your feedback. Yes, after we're getting familiar with LangChain, we'll probably increase our speed, go a little bit faster. And also, if you don't have the code for today's, I will be sharing a GitHub link where this all the code will be available. You can check that. So yeah, you can leave now. Or if you have any doubts, you can stay. I will be here for the next few minutes. If you have any doubts, you can stay. Thank you, Samir. I've configured my Hyperland config for 2-3 months. It is I'm using Waybar.
कोणतरी भेटलं नशीब हा क्वेश्चन विचारणार.
You're talking about the texture on the Waybar, right? The dim one. It's I've for an OLED screen to prevent burn-in. I have the hyper OLED tool is there, which activates alternate pixels, and so it prevents burn-in. Alternate pixels are activated, and after a few minutes, like 30 minutes, every 30 minutes, new pixels will be activated. So they keep on rotating to prevent burn-in. So yeah.
Yeah, Samit, may I know like you're from which branch and which year?